Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of From the Ground Up with Esther. In this podcast, I like to share stories of people that are inspiring me. And this new guest that I have today is someone I met at a networking event in the city. And when we talked, I just felt like I needed to talk to him more and learn more about his journey because he's doing some amazing things that I think, whether you're a professional, an immigrant and a father, this will really help you and lift you up and just grow more in your life and your vision. So it is my pleasure to introduce you to my new friend that I've met few months ago in the city, to Pablo Lombeida. Hi, Pablo.
Hi, Esther. It is a pleasure being here. So thanks for having me. Thanks
No,
for
no,
inviting me.
I'm very happy to have you. Pablo is a product designer and he helps people bring out the visions for their companies, their brands, and we were able to chat about that. So Pablo, can you please tell us who you are, what you do, and the journey that you have been?
Thanks again. So being or talking very briefly about it, I am a product designer. So I am working in the intersection of design, technology, and marketing to execute visions. Normally, I am working with business owners or product managers that are looking for a UX UI team who brings up a strategy and technology over the table and helping them to create mobile apps, e-commerce, or websites. So this is a very interesting intersection because we are applying a concept that is called business design, where we are taking the business goals of the company to create digital products and being able to add value to the market and to the end users using this famous user-centric design approach. So that's why I'm basically doing right now, Esther.
Yeah, that's great. That's very interesting. And, we're all using technology right now, and technology is a big thing, right? I and all these big firms are out there and we're using it every day. So it is very encouraging to see someone in that area. And can you tell me, how do you get started with this, right? And where are you from? Because I know you are also South American. And I would like to hear a little bit of your journey, where you come from, how you got started into this industry. And yes, please tell us more about that.
Sure, thank you. Yes, I am South American. I am neighbor of your country. I am originally from Ecuador. How I started in technology is pretty interesting. I was quite successful running an advertising agency back till 2015, 10 years ago. And I decided to move to Silicon Valley to starting up a new company focused
Mm,
on disrupt the brief process in the advertising world. It means normally when you are trying to communicate your ideas to a designer or a creative, it's very hard to get them or being with them at the same page. So
mhm.
our approach was using AI at that time. It took about 3 years to develop a prototype that right now can be
Wow.
done in less than 2 months, I think. And we develop a neural network to anticipate the needs of the clients based off an image search neural network. So it was a very interesting idea, a very interesting execution. Too early in the market, sadly. So we failed. I was like a quite persistent in the company and trying to push it harder. I went to the UK to raise money
Mm,
to trade the company or keeping the company alive. As soon ChatGPT started in November
mhm.
2022, we were officially died. So that was a failure with a lot of learnings, a lot of problems because always failure is not so romantic as like everybody's saying or talking about it.
Mm,
It's hard, definitely. But yes, that's why I got involved in tech.
wow, that's amazing. So, where do you go to school?
Okay. I went to the university in Ecuador. I hold an MBA from a school in Ecuador that is partnered with the IESE in Spain. So I did my international experience in IESE. But I was very lucky because I went to Harvard, MIT. I got a scholarship for an executive program at the University of Stanford as well. So I studied product management in Silicon Valley. And when I was running my startup, I was working with advisors from Netflix, Uber, Apple. Google at that time. So yeah, like a quite exciting journey in terms of learning and from the professional part or side of my life.
Yeah, that's so cool. And I like the part that you talked about failure. Can you go a little bit more on that? How was that journey? Because, like you said, everybody talks about the success, and, sometimes people think it's easy, right? But for you to be able to be talking to me right now, you have gone through a lot of different failures that have actually helped you keep moving forward and maybe looking for new things, new ideas, right? To keep your dreams going. Can you talk to us a little bit of that?
Absolutely. I think that the worst part of failure is the famous sunk cost philosophy, or the cost of sunk cost, because you think that because you have invest a lot of on a specific idea, you are close to the success, and you
Mm,
are in that cycle that in the beginning is a virtuous cycle, but then is coming like in a very vicious cycle, or negative cycle. So yes, I was maybe pushing too hard, sacrificing my future, basically my economy, my
mhm,
family, thinking that I am close to get the next step, or the goal that is gonna make me millionaire, or make me successful. You know what I mean? Or maybe
yes.
that's the worst part. You never know. Or normally, people that had been failing in startups, they didn't know when to stop it, or close the company and leave it. But under the idea of persistence, you continue on it, but it is a completely, or maybe that's the biggest mistake. Hurting everyone, your partners,
Mhm,
your family, and everyone. So that's why I'm saying that failure is not so romantic as sometimes we want or we like to see. But
mhm.
after that, obviously, you got a lot of learnings, and you have to be ready for the next stage, or the next step in your life.
Yes, you have to be able to fail, right? And then start again with the lessons that you
Absolutely.
that you
The
learned.
thing is, you have to fail fast. That's the thing.
Mm,
And maybe I failed too long. My failure was like a too long, because I was, AI right now is booming. So I didn't
mhm.
was wrong about the idea, but the execution part, we was in need of a lot of money, and we couldn't raise that amount of money. So that was part of one of the key components of our failure, or the main reason of our failure.
Yes. So were your partners also from Latin America, or do you have partners that were from here too? Did you think that played a part in how the journey went?
Absolutely, absolutely. I don't know if an Ecuadorian was supposed to lead the AI generation of design, for instance.
Mm,
Maybe that could be part of the story, but I don't want to complain about it. I think that
mhm.
everyone can achieve their dreams no matter where you are coming from, but maybe that could be part of the story. My partners were a mix, but mostly based in Latin America. Just one or two were based in the US. We were basically a Latin America startup or company.
Yeah, no. I like that you say that, right? Because sometimes we want to stay stuck because of our background, or where we come from, and kind of play that mentality of, I'm Hispanic, or I'm a Latino, I can do this, right? But that's not, I don't believe that's true. You can actually achieve and work hard and try your best, right? And leave the outcome to God, and it would just work out if it's meant to be. For, like you said, it wasn't meant to be for you at that moment, but that didn't stop you from pursuing other things. I
Absolutely, absolutely. And at that time, back in 2015, I was a successful business guy running a successful advertising agency. So my ego and my confidence was extremely high, you know. So at that time, I have never was asking about if I am the right person, or if I am coming from the right background. I just was
Mhm.
executing. But okay, things sometimes happens in that way.
Yeah, yeah. And what is it that you're doing now, in your career?
Okay, right now I am doing product consultancy. So I am able to assess companies what mistakes they should be avoid based on my own experience. So I think that I am very good connecting the dots and helping those companies identifying key features, key components in terms of strategy before technology, because sometimes people is too much tech driven, and you should be more strategic or user driven to achieve the next milestone or to create your product specifically. So yes,
Okay.
I am a product manager consulting companies, startups, small and medium business, or entrepreneurs that are just starting creating their products.
Yeah. And I have been the last few episodes, I've been interviewing entrepreneurs. And it's, to me, it's interesting to see the journey that they go through because I find myself, I didn't realize, but this is entrepreneurship. Even a podcast is entrepreneurship because it can lead you to so many things, so many open doors, so many ideas that can come from here, right? We have with technology so many things that we could do. And it's interesting for me to hear how people do this kind of work of being an entrepreneur. And like you mentioned before, the journey of failure is not romantic, but it teaches you lessons, right? What are the lessons that you're applying now in your journey as a project manager and that as an entrepreneur, and that you advise to those entrepreneurs that you work with?
That's a really interesting question. The first one is not being totally focused on technology, because
Mm-hmm.
remember that I was developing an AI solution. So I was thinking that technology is everything. But before that, you need to understand the go-to-market strategy, or where are you going to add value, or if your users are looking or not for the product that you are building. So I am, I think, adding a lot of value, validating that idea before using design methodologies like design sprint from Google, for instance. I think that the second part is not being too much in love with your idea,
Mm-hmm.
and leave that idea evolve, or create a space in the right environment to evolve that idea, because you cannot be stick or stuck with your idea if you don't, I know, are open-minded to incorporate feedback from users. And I think that maybe the third part is normally entrepreneurs are not asking themselves in depth what problem are they solving, and if that problem matters for your market. So I think that those are maybe the three more important learnings. And
Mm-hmm.
when I am working with big companies, I am always curious about when I am asking them to validate users and to interview users or be more empathetic with users. This is very new for them, because normally big companies are seeing customers as numbers, numbers, or in a very random definition. So yeah, I am helping big companies like creating more empathy with users to create more success, because the
Mm-hmm.
empathy is it could be a very good business if you are, if you are adding value to your market. So maybe that's why I am right now applying from my past experience in entrepreneur world.
Yes, no, that's great because that's the only way that we can help other people when we have learned the lesson and then we can apply and advise others so they don't go through the same things that we go through. So I think that's
Absolutely.
great. Yeah, I think that's great. You mentioned your family at the beginning that, right, you were putting your vision was so high, your ego, I think you said that earlier, that you weren't thinking the sacrifices you were probably making with your family and the important things. So, can you share with us? You are a married man. You have two beautiful daughters, I believe.
Yes, I didn't mention that before. I think I should, but my side business right now is not side business. My passion right now, my ikigai, as Japanese are saying, is being a caddy in the world of golf. So caddy is the one that is carrying the golf bag for helping a specific player. But in this case, I had the luck of being the caddy of my daughters. So I have 11 years old daughters. They are playing golf since at the age of 4 years old and competing internationally from the age of 6 years old. And they
Mm,
have been pretty successful, winning tournaments in Brazil, in Colombia, in Panama, getting podiums in the US as well. So that's something that I am very passionate about it. And I am I am just a fan of golf. I cannot say that I am a good golfer, but I ended up being a good maybe daddy caddy or daddy coach manager, wearing all of the possible hats to helping them succeed. So yeah, I am very enthusiastic about their journey and their future as well.
Yes, that was the first thing when we met, we talked about, and I said, "That's really cool because, I don't play golf. I have friends that play golf. I don't know much about golf, but when I learned that your daughters were doing this, I was like, "Whoa, that's really nice that you are, trying to help them get up there in this world of golf." When do you start playing golf and how did this begin with your daughters?
That's another very interesting question. I started playing quite old, let's say, at the age of 29. Right now I am 44 years old. So I started playing a few years ago, and I became a huge fan of golf because golf is so addictive. If you
Mm.
are playing or you're planning to play for first time, and if you got hooked, you will never, you will never be without like a being so passionate about this beautiful sport. And my girls were born seeing golf on TV. I was
Mm,
replaced football or soccer for golf. So I was so passionate about players, following my favorite ones, assistant to in live events as well, golf events. So I think that they got hooked because of that. And they started playing with plastic golf clubs at the age maybe or 2.5, 3 years old. 4 years they were assisting to a golf school in Quito, in my city, in my golf club. And that's why they got engaged with this sport officially.
mhm. So now they're competing?
Yeah, sure. I have never imagined that I was creating two very good players because they are very talented and hard workers and disciplined and resilient. But right now they are, achieving a lot of success being golfers or being junior golfers.
Hmm, that's so nice. So how does it work? Do they go and compete in different countries?
Yes, normally right now, if you are a junior golf, there is an association that it is a foundation in the US that is called US Kids Golf. US Kids Golf is organizing local tours around the world in Peru, in Colombia, in Ecuador. I think that in the entire Latin America and mostly in the world. So you have to play local tours in order to qualify to the US Kids Worlds, which is like the similar of the World Cup in soccer for junior golf. The US Kids World is held in Pinehurst, North Carolina, every year. So the dream of the kids from the age of 6 years old till 12 years old is competing in that tournament. And you
Right.
know what? The best thing about it is when you are going to Pinehurst, it is like you are crossing a tunnel. This is like a Disneyland for golf. So you're
Okay.
crossing a tunnel and you get absolutely in love with the golf because kids are, they are working hard to showing their skills at this tournament. And at the same time, they are enjoying a lot, meeting people from other countries, going to the pool with golfers from the United States, Latin America, Asia, Africa. So all
Mhm.
together united because of the love of this sport.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
Yes, and I think that for my girls, as was the best driver for being golfers. Like, hey, let's meet girls from all over the world, or let's meet more people. Yes, from different countries, and that was maybe the best. I think, yeah, the best source of motivation
Mhm.
for them.
Yes, because they were able to make friends there and
And
yeah,
having fun, which is
and
very
having
important
fun.
in.
Yes, that's something I'm curious about because they're kids, right? And I want to make sure I say this correctly, but a lot of times what I have seen online or throughout, history, that sometimes parents put dreams onto their children, and then the children get so much pressure to perform on something, let's say acting, singing, right, that they don't get to live their childhood. And how can you make sure there is that balance in them, that making sure that they're having fun, that they're enjoying being children, while also achieving something great that they have no idea they're building up for themselves?
Oh, this is the hardest part for a father that is pushing their girls to compete,
Mm-hmm.
because finding out the balance is definitely hard. Okay, the quickest answer is you need to make the game fun to get them interested pursuing or continuing and training, because obviously sometimes you have to skip a birthday party for one of your friends because you have a
Mm,
tournament, and kids are asking, hey, but I want to go to my birthday party, which is obviously okay, but at the same time you need to explain, yes, but if you want to be engage or commit with this sport, you will have to do some sacrifices. At the
mm,
end, this is life, or you are teaching some values or principles about what they are going to have in their lives. In our family, one of the principles is friends are always first than golf. So if they have a specific party, we prioritize friends rather than golf. But sometimes you cannot because you are playing the qualification for the Worlds, for instance. So you will have to skip it. Or
mm.
you are planning a golf trip in another country. So they are not able to assist to a specific excursion or a school trip because of golf. So that's difficult. But I think the way to solve it is to test how committed is your daughter or how committed is your kid with this specific duty at the end. So
Mhm.
if you can balance it and explain it in the right manner, and obviously not forcing them to do those things, they are gonna make their own decisions and take responsibility, even if they are like 6, 7, 8 years old, which I think
Yes.
is great for their
Mhm.
development.
Yes, that's great because I think I will want my children to enjoy that, right? So you want them to enjoy what they're doing and understanding the balance and let them be kids. That's why I think it's great that you said friends are first, and then it's still having that ability to explain to them what they're doing, why is it important in a good way as children.
Absolutely. And you know what? Also, some junior golfers are in homeschooling from when they are very little. I am not judging because I respect the different ways of thinking, but I think that maybe that's too early because at the school, you have friends, you learn to socialize, you learn to deal with some problems as well with your friends. Yeah, I think that finding out the balance is the best way without saying that they are not sacrificing
Mhm.
things sometimes more than or crossing that line of balance that I mentioned before.
Yes, yes, yes. No, it's true. Yeah, everybody has different ways of doing things, right? Some things is better homeschooling, others want to prioritize that socializing part. So I understand what you're saying.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Were you gonna say something
Yes.
else?
No, and if you ask me, homeschooling could be an option for my daughters as well,
Mhm.
but I don't know when they will be deciding that they want to pursue this sport 100% of their time, or at least the majority of their time, and it's gonna be when they will be teenagers. So not
Mhm.
now, but yes, at the age of 14, 15, 16 years old.
Yeah. And what keeps you, what is the motivation that you have? Because you said, it's as a for someone like you, it is hard, you said, to kind of have this balance. You're an entrepreneur, you're a go-getter, you have goals, you have done so much in your life, and now you find yourselves with two daughters that are enjoying an a sport that can bring a lot of trophies and things like that, right? Can you explain the motivation that you have as a father and as an entrepreneur? What motivates you? even when I'm sure maybe you think sometimes it could be challenging for your daughters to go through this process?
That's another really good question, and thanks for asking. I think that the main motivation is making them happy for sure. That's the most important one. But develop them as critical thinkers, because in golf you have to make decisions. Circumstances are changing, like in business, like in life. Golf is the most related sport, like life is, in
Mm.
terms of how everything can change overnight, and creating resilient human beings as well. But if you ask me for specific goals, obviously we are motivated to get a scholarship in college in the US. And if we can achieve D1, should be great, because there is a complex system in terms of junior golf about where you girl can go, or could be accepted. D1, D2, D3. It is quite complex. I am not really I don't know really well that yet, because I am not at that age. But yes, for sure, we want to get a very good college. And I think that golf specifically is opening doors for them around the world. So if they still cultivating their friendship or their friends around the world, they're gonna be a great networking.
Mm.
So they are just 11 years old, and they have a more, maybe a stronger network than me. Obviously,
Yeah.
if you compare me at that age. So I think that's another motivation for that. And maybe the third one is you are always looking to represent your country in
Mm.
the best possible manner. When they are competing, I am always like carrying the Ecuadorian flag and saying to them, you are here more for the reason that you are here is more than just you winning the tournament, or winning
Mm.
a trophy. You're here representing your country. So if you ask me, I love that my twin won an important tournament for Ecuador during their teens age, because you have different regional South Americans
Mhm.
competitions where should be really good if they can be a strong players, or strong candidates for winning.
Yes, and I like that you mentioned that because in our culture, in the Hispanic culture, we don't see a lot of golf, right? So, what have been the challenges in this journey? Because you're literally doing this podcast is called From the Ground Up, right? And I think hearing from someone and that goes to these tournaments and wins these trophies in a sport that a lot of people in our culture don't play much, maybe people that live here have now embraced that and are doing it more because we're here, right? But yeah, can you share with us the challenges of this journey in terms of cultural?
That's a great question. In South America, maybe in Latin America, the golf is not well developed, but you have some countries that are doing a very good job, like Argentina, Colombia. Girls in Peru are very strong. I think Mexico. In Ecuador, we don't have the best infrastructure. We don't have a lot of coaches. Specifically, we have a LPGA tour player. We are so proud about her. She is Daniela Darquea, and she's doing very well. But for us, it was difficult because we were like a training mostly online. So I was the tripod with my cell phone, showing
Mm.
the movements and everything from my girls to the coach, and the coach was
Wow.
speaking from another side of the world and teaching them. So that's something that is challenging. Obviously, we are lucky enough. We have a very good coach in Ecuador as well. We are taking lessons with him in presence, but at the same time, the Ecuadorian junior golf is not very competitive. So if you want to compete, you need to go out and to travel.
Mm.
And that's another challenge, because you need resources, you need time, you need to skip the school, you need to skip the job, and you need
Yeah.
to finance the logistics. Planning a tournament is not easy, because you need to mark the golf course, you need to understand the other players, you need to define a strategy, you need to be hydrated, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a racing, high performance athletes is not easy, and
Mhm.
we have a lot of challenges in that way.
Yes, yes. No, you're doing your best. So you travel to Ecuador often?
Yeah, sure. We are traveling from Ecuador to, you know, to competing in South America, in Panama as well, in Central America. Next year we are going to compete in one or two tournaments in Mexico and mostly in the US. So back and forth all of the time. Sometimes traveling in not the best, schedules. So arriving to the tournament just in time,
Mm.
very tired, but okay, part of the journey. And I think that we are enjoying it a lot.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. It takes a lot. They're very lucky to have you supporting them on this, and building that for them. Because I think it can
Ah,
open so many great doors.
absolutely. Yeah, and I think that I am very lucky as well having them
Yeah,
because if you don't have the other side, eh, this
yes.
this is going to be impossible,
It wouldn't
as
work.
you can imagine. Yeah,
It wouldn't
exactly.
work. Yeah. That's nice. Yeah, I didn't know. I'm learning. I thought it was really cool because like I said, I have friends that play golf, but I've never really I tried once and I liked it and I said I need to try, but then I wasn't hooked enough to keep trying. Takes a lot of patience, right?
Yes.
Takes a lot of patience.
And takes a lot of practice as well and takes a lot of resilience because there is no day that you can play at the same way that you play yesterday. This is
Mhm.
a very very challenging sport in so many ways, mentally tough specifically.
Yes, yes. It does take a lot of patience. I was reading some characteristics of people that play golf and it did say that. So be very patient. And I was like, okay. And one of my friends actually, whenever we travel, he tries to find a place to play golf because he says it's different everywhere that you go to. And I thought it was interesting to know that.
And it is for sure.
So you live in Ecuador. And you travel to the US for the competitions. What is the challenge that you see? How do you explain this to your daughters that, it might be hard, like we mentioned before, it might be hard on them when they miss a party? What do they say?
You know what? They were not complaining at all till they were, I think, 10 years and a half old. But right now
Mhm.
they are 11 and they are going to be turning 12 in April next year. And obviously they are changing in so many ways because they're going to be they right now are pre-teenagers. They're going to be a teenagers soon, sadly. But
Yes.
yeah, sure. But right now they are more like a tired about traveling. They are like
Okay.
trying to avoid travels or trying to save travels because they were traveling a lot because of being Ecuadorians and having to travel to the US for competing. Maybe the best way of explaining it is we are going to meet more friends. You are going to see your existing friends. You're going to have fun because always we have fun. But obviously, we will need to wake up very early in the morning. We should practice, like I'm making sacrifices because that's the only way to achieve their dreams.
Mhm.
But I think that I am always like I'm making them aware about that we are working for a long-term goal or for a mid-term goal. And they
Mhm.
understand it and because they are enjoying it, I think they are accepting it for sure.
Yes. And something that we talked about at the beginning, we talked about failure, right? How do they feel when they don't win a game or they didn't make it to the competition? How do you explain to them the meaning of failure? Because I heard a lot of other entrepreneurs and everybody shares different stories of how their parents, some of one person actually, I can't remember her name, her dad encouraged her to fail. I think she's the creator of Expanse. Can't remember her name, but her dad encouraged failure, that failure was a good thing. How do you explain this to your daughters?
I think that failure is a good thing. I think that when you are failing too long, that's why failing is not good. You know what? In golf, you are losing more than you are winning. So
Mm,
it's completely normal that you are mostly losing than winning tournaments. So they have had obviously terrible results at some tournaments for different reasons. And I am always like to say, hey, you have in golf, in sports, I think that we are never losing. We are always winning because we are learning. And and we have the habit of like tracking statistics and trying to analyze some data about our performance. and to analyze them, how we should be performing better. So I think that the way that I want to explain it is, if you were doing your best, I think that this is something that can happen.
Mm-hmm.
If you weren't doing your best, I think that you should change your attitude, or you should change the way that you were making decisions. And if we learn right now from this, from this mistake, the idea is to avoid committing that mistake next time. So I think that
Mm-hmm.
that conversation is always good. Every coach or every psychologist is recommending to not talk about the result right after the tournament. It's
Okay.
better if you can wait 1 to 2 days. But sometimes we are human beings. You cannot wait.
Mm-hmm.
You are talking right away,
Yeah.
and sometimes providing feedback at that time. But we normally analyze situations 1 or 2 days later, but
Mm-hmm.
obviously talking right away as well. So
Yeah.
maybe that's how we handle it.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. No, that's great. I'm really proud of you and inspired because you're doing this for your
Thank
daughters
you.
and they're representing your country, Ecuador, and you live over there. How has the support been from the Ecuadorian fans or people that follow you? How has the support been?
Okay, golf is so small. But
Mm-hmm.
obviously, our closest friends are the first and the huge fanatics of Alina and Antonia, always asking about them. I have a friend that recently, when Alina won a tournament, they brought flowers to them, to encourage them. So I have a lot of friends that they are very very pending of what they are doing, or what's going on with them. Yeah. We
That's
don't have
great.
maybe a huge fans because we are not playing football, but this is quantity rather than quality. So in terms of quantity, we are very very good.
No, that's perfect. Sometimes we don't need a lot, right? We only need 2, 3 friends that are rooting for us and they help us keep going. Um, but like you said, golf is different than soccer, different than all these other sports out there. So I think I understand what you mean. Yeah. Here too, I like to ask my guests because I am a woman of faith and I'm always whenever I feel down, I go back to my faith. And I would like to ask you, does faith play a role in your life when you are doing these projects, embarking to these new ideas? Is this something you hang on to?
Okay, so I used to be very Catholic. Maybe right now I am not the best practitioner,
Hmm.
but my for my girls, faith play a huge role. So some they have a habit that is asking her grandma, my mom, to light up a candle in front of baby Jesus, that my mom have a lot of faith. So this is part of our routine before a tournament, or when we are in the middle of a very definitory round, or we are close to win, or we are close to achieve something important. So yes,
Yes.
definitely faith is playing a huge role in our lives.
Yes, yes. No, that's good to hear because I like to ask this because for me, my faith in Jesus is very important and is the foundation of my life. Life is not easy and we all have these dreams and ideas. And although we have capabilities and God has given us everything we need in this world, we also need that help from Him and that strength to keep going when things get hard. And
Absolutely. And
go ahead.
yeah, and I think that the spirituality is a key component in your life for sure. So yes, faith is part of it.
Yeah, that's great. I'm so happy for you. I'm so proud of you because you live in Ecuador and you're doing all these amazing things, working with people here in America and bringing your daughters, helping them to dream bigger so they can achieve more things in their lives, right? So I'm very proud of you and I'm very grateful that I met you. It's funny, right? When you go to these events, you never know who you're going to meet. And I'm so happy that I was able to find you that night.
Yeah, me too. There is no coincidence,
Right?
as everybody says. So yeah, happy to meet you, and thanks for inviting me to your space, because this is a very intimate space and a project that you are taking a lot of care of it,
Yeah.
and happy for being part of this episode in your podcast.
No, I'm very happy that you're here, and I've enjoyed learning a little bit about you because you have done so many things. I was reading your LinkedIn and it's just amazing everything that you're doing. I'm very proud
Okay.
of you. Such a smart person. Yes, yes. And I wish you all the best. How can people support you, and how would you want me to pray for you and your daughters? Is there a specific prayer that you like?
You know what? I think that very soon we will be looking for corporate sponsorships
Mm-hmm.
because obviously we need to invest a lot of money in their development. So if someone can reach out to us or want to support us, that's gonna be great. Or even if someone was, I know, cheering up or sending just a phrase for keep us motivated is more than
Mm-hmm.
welcome as well. So yeah, if someone
Yes.
wants to reach out, I think that Instagram is the best way too. We have a very
Mm-hmm.
active account. It is called the Twin A Golfers, which stands for the Twin A is because Alina and Antonia, they are identical twins, and at the same time their names start with with A. So that's why this is the handle. So yes, the Twin A
Yeah.
Golfers. That's the best way for reaching out.
Okay. Okay. So they can reach out to you there. That's great. And to connect with you, is there a way for people to connect with you if they're looking to bring their product to life or anything like that in the tech industry?
Absolutely, absolutely, and happy to help them. Yes, I can send my contact information, but my website is webflowadelier.com, and my email is pablo@webflowadelier.com. So I think that we can drop some notes on this episode, yeah, and put my contact information.
Yes, that'll be great. I can't wait to see where your daughters go from here and keep looking at the journey. I've been following on Instagram, so it's been really interesting to see and really cute to see them play golf. So I'm
Thank you.
very excited to see. Yeah, I'm very excited to see where it goes.
Yes, you'll be part of it, and you are already part of it. Thanks for make for us this space to show up about
Yeah.
their story, and yes, we'll keep you posted about how is everything going on.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Pablo. It was great talking to you. I wish you all the best. And please give him a follow if you're from Ecuador. Please support them and follow their account and stay posted. I know that every little word of encouragement makes us, I get very happy when a friend encourages me or sends me a little sentence or word. So I encourage every person that loves golf, loves Ecuador. If you're Latino, please support them and go on their page. And like he said, he's looking for that support too. If you could give, that would be great. Yeah. Thank you, Pablo. And thank you everybody for listening. Pablo, you want to say something before I?
Yes, sure. Say thanks again for you to you. Sorry, I'm proud of you as well, and all of the best. Many blessings for you and for your podcast and your career. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. No, thank you, Pablo. Everyone, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to this episode. I will ask for you to please subscribe to my channel at From the Ground Up with Esther. You can follow on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, and also on YouTube. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.